I don't know if they lucky or got skill because these motherfuckers escaped from prison and never got caught. This is Glenn Stark Chambers. January 1975, Chambers got into an argument with a woman that later spiraled into a physical altercation. Chambers waited for her outside a bowling alley, and that's when he ended up doing something to her in the parking lot that caused physical harm to her. The off-duty officer ended up seeing what the fuck he was doing to her, and he intervened, and Chambers was arrested. At 6:18 p.m., he was booked into jail. At 9:25 p.m., he was bailed out by the woman he allegedly assaulted. I know y'all wondering why did she bail him out, but that's because they was in a toxic relationship. So they end up getting into arguments all the time, and then they end up getting back cool. And once they end up getting to the apartment, guess what he did? He ended up attacking her again. And at 10:50 p.m., he showed up to the hospital with this woman inside his arms. The police said this woman had severe brain trauma and there was blood found throughout the apartment and in Chambers' vehicle. They do believe he primarily used his hands. There was indications of swelling on at least one of his hands. 5 days after the incident, she unfortunately passed away in the hospital. After that, Chambers was convicted of first-degree murder and he was sentenced to the death penalty by electric chair. But Glenn said they had him fucked up. So he tried to escape multiple times. The first time was around 11 p.m. July 13th, 1975, when Chambers and two other inmates overpowered a detention deputy who was returning an inmate to his cell. Chambers was hiding on a ledge and jumped on the deputy as he entered. The escapees then exited through the third floor window using ropes they made with bread sheets. Now, two of the inmates ain't make it that far and they end up getting captured. But Glenn, he was built different. It took them 3 days to find him. After that ain't work, he been like, fuck it, let me try to do it the legal way. So he tried to appeal his case and it made it all the way to the Florida Supreme Court and he got resentenced to life in prison instead of having a death penalty. But they added another 5 years onto his life sentence because he tried to escape from prison. He already got life, it wasn't no point in adding more. After that, he just sat in prison for 15 years and he was a good inmate, which qualified him for PRIDE, the Department of Corrections program, which allowed well-behaved inmates to build furniture for the offices across Florida. And once he built up trust with them, that's when he did the ultimate escape. Chambers was tasked to loading the truck on February 21st, 1990, but he loaded more than just furniture. That's when Glenn put himself inside the box, and that's when other inmates helped put boxes on top of the box to help conceal his location. And while the truck was en route to Daytona, that's when he ended up making his escape and leaving the truck before it made it to his location. When the truck made it to the location, the only thing it found was Glenn's prison uniform. They said he had at least 2 hours to flee from the delivery truck, and it remains unclear where he escaped along the truck route. And y'all probably wondering how the fuck Glenn even get out the truck. So basically he packed some tools in the back with him. He ended up cutting out a little section of the truck and he ended up just hopping out that motherfucker. And that's all we know. Glenn is literally still on the run. They've been looking for him for 30 plus years now. They said at the time he's currently about 68 years old. But he's not the only motherfucker that successfully escaped. If y'all want more content like this, don't forget to like, comment, and follow so you don't miss out on part 2.